Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Buckle up because what's happening right now in the NFL offseason is nothing short of explosive, especially if you're rooting for the Atlanta Falcons. We've got a story that could shake up the entire NFC South and perhaps even set the stage for the Falcons to make a serious push toward a Super Bowl appearance in the coming seasons. And it all centers around a very intriguing trade rumor involving the Jacksonville Jaguars, a trade that could bring a former top overall pick right here to Atlanta. That's right. The buzz is that the Jaguars are shopping their first-round pick from a few seasons ago, and the Falcons are in the mix. This isn't just any player, either. We're talking about Travon Walker, the guy the Jaguars selected first overall in the 2022 NFL Draft. When Jacksonville made that pick, they believed they had a future star on their hands, someone who could become a dominant pass rusher and anchor their defense for years to come. And yes, over his 3 seasons in the league, Walker has shown flashes of that potential. He's accumulated 151 pressures, which is a solid number, and has racked up 25 sacks, along with 162 tackles. Those are numbers that any team would be happy to have, especially considering his age, just 24 years old. But here's the thing. While Walker has been productive, he hasn't quite lived up to the hype of being the first pick in the draft. That's a lot of pressure for a young player, and sometimes it takes a bit more time for guys to fully develop into that elite pass rusher everyone expects. Jacksonville has a couple of other players on the roster, like Joshua Hines-Allen, and they're also looking at the draft to bolster their pass rush. It's clear that the Jaguars are eyeing a rebuild, a chance to get more draft capital to help them bounce back from a somewhat disappointing recent season. And that's where the Falcons come into play. Atlanta has been desperately trying to improve their pass rush, especially after last season's struggles. They generated 131 pressures, but only managed to sack the quarterback 31 times, which was the second worst in the entire NFL. That's a huge area of concern, especially when you consider how much a dominant pass rush can change the entire complexion of a game. Bringing in someone like Travon Walker, a Georgia native, could be exactly what the Falcons need to turn that around. Imagine the impact of having a young, talented edge rusher who can develop into a cornerstone of your defense for years to come. Walker's addition would be a game-changer for the Falcons' defense, no doubt. His athleticism, combined with his size and motor, make him a perfect fit for Atlanta's defensive scheme. Plus, with his hometown roots in Georgia, it's almost like a homecoming story. The Falcons could be getting a player who not only has the talent, but also the motivation to succeed and become a face of the franchise on the defensive side. But let's dive deeper into why this move could be so significant for Atlanta. Last season, the Falcons' defense was a mixed bag. They had moments of promise but lacked consistency, especially in pressuring the quarterback. With only 31 sacks, they ranked near the bottom of the league in that category. That's a major area to target in the offseason, and adding Walker could be a part of that solution. His potential to develop further, especially with his age and the coaching staff's guidance, makes him a very appealing target. Now, it's important to remember that while Walker hasn't completely lived up to the first overall pick hype, he's still a talented player with a lot of room to grow. And in the NFL, sometimes it's just about the right environment, the right coaching, and a bit of patience. The Falcons have that in their coaching staff, and they've shown they're willing to develop young talent. If they can get Walker on board, it could be the start of something special. And let's not forget the division implications. The NFC South has been a competitive division in recent years, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, and Carolina Panthers all vying for supremacy. If Atlanta manages to bolster their pass rush significantly by acquiring a player like Walker, it could tilt the balance of power. Suddenly, the Falcons are not just a team trying to rebuild, but a legitimate contender with a defense that can get after the quarterback and create turnovers. That's the kind of boost that can propel them into playoff contention and beyond, possibly even challenging for the division title. Of course, the trade isn't just about Walker. It's also about what Atlanta might have to give up in return. The Falcons are likely to offer draft picks or maybe even a player to make the deal work. The Jaguars, on the other hand, are looking to maximize their return, possibly to address other roster needs or to build for the future. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that could pay off big time for both sides if executed well. Looking ahead, the Falcons' front office has shown a clear focus on building a competitive team around quarterback Desmond Ridder. They've invested in offensive linemen, weapons, and now it seems they're ready to bolster the defense. A young, talented pass rusher like Walker could be the missing piece that turns a decent defense into a top-tier unit. And with the right coaching, he could develop into that dominant force that can take over games, especially in high-pressure situations. So, for all the Atlanta Falcons fans out there, this is a story worth watching closely. It's not just about a trade, it's about a vision for the future, a chance to finally get that defensive piece that has been missing for years. It's about seeing your team take a bold step forward, making a move that could define the next era of Falcons football. And as we all know, in the NFL, the offseason is where champions are built, and this potential trade could be one of those defining moments. Now, let's talk about the broader NFL landscape for a moment. The league is always evolving, and every offseason brings new surprises. The Jaguars, with their recent draft history and roster moves, seem to be in a rebuild mode, looking to recoup some of their investment in Walker and other players. Meanwhile, the Falcons, under the leadership of their coaching staff, are trying to position themselves as serious contenders in the NFC South once again. The addition of a player like Walker could be the catalyst they need to leapfrog their division rivals. And of course, fans from all over the league are watching this story unfold. Trades like this don't just impact one team, they ripple across the league, affecting draft strategies, free agency plans, and even other trades. The NFL offseason is a chess game, and every move counts. For Atlanta, this could be a checkmate that puts them firmly in the conversation for the playoffs and beyond. Before I wrap up, I want to emphasize how important it is for fans to stay tuned and stay engaged. The Falcons have been building steadily, and this potential move could be the next big step forward. Whether it's through draft picks, free agent signings, or strategic trades, the goal is clear: building a team that can compete at the highest level and bring that Lombardi trophy back to Atlanta. We've seen glimpses of that potential, but with bold moves like acquiring Travon Walker, the Falcons could be making a statement to the entire NFL. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the Falcons should go all in on landing Walker, or do you believe they should hold their draft capital for other needs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Falcons. Remember, the offseason is just beginning, and there's plenty more news and analysis coming your way. I'll be back soon with updates, breakdowns, and everything you need to stay ahead of the game. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned for all the latest Atlanta Falcons news because this story is far from over. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's keep the passion alive for our Atlanta Falcons.